Yo, what's up guys? It's been about 2 weeks since my last upload. We have a lot to go over, and without further ado, we're going to start with the front bumper. I picked this bumper up from carparts.com for a listing of $188. With taxes and shipping, it came out to about $280. Little to no bodywork needing to be done at all. As you can see, it is pretty smooth. And as far as fitment goes, it's really good fitment. This is the 6-cylinder variant. This side is pretty good with my gaps. Nothing too crazy over here to complain about. Over here, we do have a pretty good headlight gap here, and this is due to the hood being warped actually. As you can see over here, it increases the gap even though the hood is actually fully latched. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video is this hood was actually completely caved in. I ended up using a crowbar to pull this out here and here and over here, and it's not perfect, but it's a drift car, so it's not going to be 100% perfect. And as long as the hood functions how it's supposed to and it looks halfway decent, that's all that matters to me. Said we were going to be getting kidney grills. I did order those the same time that I ordered this bumper, but unfortunately they're coming from China and they're still on the way. The next thing we ended up doing was lowering the car. For the front, I ended up going with Raceland Ultimo E36 front coilovers. I did get these from a friend for a really good deal, 20 bucks. As far as the rear goes, this was done completely free. I was gonna use spring clamps to get it lower, but the springs are just too wide to get the clamp on there. So what we ended up doing was torching them, as you can see in this video. So we did drop about 4 inches, I would say, and these are 17s with a good 45 sidewall on them, and they are tucking up under the fender. The car is in its stancy phase, so I'm not going to complain too much. It rides perfectly fine. It still has suspension travel. Our next biggest change that we did was got new wheels. Now the car is sitting on all 4 matching wheels. They are still 17s. These are style 67s, 7.5 width, I'm pretty sure, square. And I'm more than likely sure that these are replicas. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but they're style 67 17s, and they don't have an M badge around here, so more than likely replicas, but I'm not too worried about it. These are going to end up being drift wheels in the future. I ended up picking these up from the junkyard for $190 is what I paid after taxes. So under 50 bucks a wheel. Now for our last exterior modification, we went ahead with the blast pipe tips, dual exit. They do kind of come out at a little bit of an angle here, and this is more of a JDM look on a European car, but I love the way it looks, honestly. Let me know what you guys think about the way it looks. I ended up picking this up from eBay for about 50 bucks. I just unbolted the diff bushing, put a pry bar, pushed it down, and used an air hammer, and just went ahead and knocked it right out. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Gonna go ahead and grease this one up, slap it in. Got the first half in, just gotta grease the second half up, throw the washers on each side, jack it back up, and she should be good to go. Alright, so the biggest question I'm gonna get on this video is how I ended up getting the E30 diff mount to work on a Z3. So basically what I've done is not use the spacer. I had to get these bolts shorter by 1 1/8 inches, and I had to get these bolts longer by 1 1/4 inches. Only these two and only these two. These two are the same length as these, And then these two were the new ones that had to be 1.25 inches longer because they had to clear through the rail that's underneath of there, because the E30 rail is a lot skinnier than the Z3s, which are a lot wider. Alright, so what I've gone ahead and done was grinded off this spare tire bracket for the carrier. I went ahead and had to drop the sway bar down and then cut it out and then put the sway bar back in and mocked it up. Next up on the list, we went ahead and upgraded our transmission mounts with polyurethane mounts that I got from Drift HQ. Alright guys, so we got our Condor poly transmission mounts. We're just using a 13 wrench on top, and we got a 13 ratchet and socket on the bottom, using this pole to raise up the jack after I get the 2 nuts on the top off, lift it up, get the 2 nuts on the bottom off, pull them out, and slap the new ones in and bolt it back together. Got the old bushings out, got the tranny just jacked up. Alright, so what I would have had it done was, while it was jacked up, I went ahead and put the bushing on top with the bolt in there, and then pretty much just slowly lowered it until the bolts came through the bottom. Now I'm gonna stick my washer and my lock nut on there and tighten it up. And then after that, we went ahead and upgraded our engine mounts to poly 95A hardness from Redshift. Alright guys, so it is engine mount time. I got blue thread locker and my polyurethane mounts. Just went ahead and used a set of extensions and 16mm socket, got it from the top, undid the nuts, and I got on a lift. I'm using a pole to push the engine up. As you can see, we got the engine well above the mounts, so just gonna go under here, unbolt them, and we'll be good to go. So guys, with all that being said, we have got new wheels, we lowered the suspension, we put a front bumper on it, we got the kidney grills on the way, upgraded the diff bushing, added a diff mount, upgraded our transmission mounts and our engine mount. For our next set of mods, we're going to be ordering wheel spacers, rack spacers, and axle spacers. Axle spacers mainly because now that the car is sitting so low, if I'm drifting this thing, I have a really high risk of breaking an axle. So what the axle spacer does is it pushes it out further, so that way it decreases that aggressiveness to the angle and prevents it from breaking. After that, we're gonna go ahead and order a oil pan baffle that we're gonna get welded in, so that way we don't have oil sloshing around the pickup tube, so that way oil stays in the pickup tube so we don't lose oil pressure while we're drifting. I've also got this safety nut that we're gonna install at the same time. So yeah guys, come a long way for sure in the past 2 weeks. Still got loads more to come for this thing. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as we will be posting more content in the future with this. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great day. See you guys in the next video.